Section 30 of John Keats Selected Poems. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Leonard Wilson. Lamia, Part 2. Love in a hut with water and a crust is, love forgive us, cinders, ashes, dust. Love in a palace is perhaps at last more grievous torment than a hermit's fast. That is a doubtful tale from fairyland, hard for the non-elect to understand. Had Lycius lived to hand his story down, he might have given the moral a fresh frown, or clenched it quite. But too short was their bliss to breed distrust and hate that make the soft voice hiss. Besides, there nightly, with terrific glare, Love, jealous grown of so complete a pair, hovered and buzzed his wings with fearful roar above the lintel of their chamber door, and down the passage cast a glow upon the floor. For all this came a ruin. Side by side they were enthroned in the eventide upon a couch, near to a curtaining whose airy texture from a golden string floated into the room, and let appear unveiled the summer heaven, blue and clear, betwixt two marble shafts. There they reposed where use had made it sweet, with eyelids closed, saving a tithe which love still open kept, that they might see each other while they almost slept. When from the slope side of a suburb hill, deafening the swallow's twitter, came a thrill of trumpets. Lycius started. The sounds fled, but left a thought, a buzzing in his head. For the first time since first he harbored in that purple-lined palace of sweet sin, his spirit passed beyond its golden bourne into the noisy world almost forsworn. The lady, ever watchful, penetrant, saw this with pain, so arguing a want of something more than her empery of joys, and she began to moan and sigh, because he mused beyond her, knowing well that but a moment's thought is passion's passing bell. "Why do you sigh, fair creature?" whispered he. "Why do you think?" returned she tenderly. "You have deserted me. Where am I now? Not in your heart while care weighs on your brow. No, no, you have dismissed me, and I go from your breast houseless. Ay, it must be so." He answered, bending to her open eyes, where he was mirrored small in paradise, "My silver planet both of eve and morn, why will you plead yourself so sad forlorn, while I am striving how to fill my heart with deeper crimson and a double smart? How to entangle, trammel up, and snare your soul in mine, and labyrinth you there like the hid scent in an unbudded rose? Ay, a sweet kiss! You see your mighty woes. My thoughts, shall I unveil them? Listen then. What mortal hath a prize that other men may be confounded and abashed withal, but lets it sometimes pace abroad majestical, and triumph, as in thee I should rejoice amid the hoarse alarm of Corinth's voice? Let my foes choke, and my friends shout afar, while through the thronged streets your bridal car wheels round its dazzling spokes." The lady's cheek trembled. She nothing said, but pale and meek arose and knelt before him, wept a rain of sorrows at his words, at last with pain beseeching him, the while his hand she wrung, to change his purpose. He thereat was stung, perverse, with stronger fancy to reclaim her wild and timid nature to his aim. Besides, for all his love, in self-despite, against his better self, he took delight luxurious in her sorrows, soft and new. His passion, cruel grown, took on a hue fierce and sanguineous, as 'twas possible in one whose brow had no dark veins to swell. Fine was the mitigated fury, like Apollo's presence when in act to strike the serpent. Ah, the serpent! Certes, she was none. She burnt, she loved the tyranny, and all subdued, consented to the hour when to the bridal he should lead his paramour. Whispering in midnight silence, said the youth, "Sure some sweet name thou hast, though by my truth I have not asked it, ever thinking thee not mortal, but of heavenly progeny, as still I do. Hast any mortal name, fit appellation for this dazzling frame, or friends or kinsfolk on the citied earth, to share our marriage feast and nuptial mirth?" "I have no friends," said Lamia, "no, not one. My presence in wide Corinth hardly known, my parents' bones are in their dusty urns sepulchred, where no kindled incense burns, seeing all their luckless race are dead, save me, and I neglect the holy rite for thee. Even as you list, invite your many guests, but if, as now it seems, your vision rests with any pleasure on me, do not bid old Apollonius, from him keep me hid." Lucius, perplexed at words so blind and blank, made close inquiry, from whose touch she shrank, feigning a sleep. And he to the dull shade of deep sleep in a moment was betrayed. It was the custom then to bring away the bride from home at blushing shut of day, veiled, in a chariot, heralded along by strewn flowers, torches, and a merry song, with other pageants. But this fair unknown had not a friend. So being left alone, Lycius was gone to summon all his kin. And knowing surely she could never win his foolish heart from its mad pompousness, she set herself, high-thoughted, how to dress the misery in fit magnificence. She did so, but 'tis doubtful how and whence came, and who were her subtle servitors. About the halls, and to and from the doors, there was a noise of wings, till in short space the glowing banquet room shone with wide arched grace, a haunting music, sole perhaps and lone supportress of the fairy roof, made moan throughout, as fearful the whole charm might fade. Fresh carved cedar, mimicking a glade of palm and plantain, met from either side, high in the midst, in honor of the bride. 2 palms, and then 2 plantains, and so on from either side their stems branched, one to one, all down the aisled place, and beneath all there ran a stream of lamps, straight on, from wall to wall. So canopied lay an untasted feast, teeming with odors. Lamia, regal dressed, silently paced about, and as she went, in pale, contented sort of discontent, missioned her viewless servants to enrich the fretted splendor of each nook and niche. Between the tree stems, marbled plain at first, came jasper panels, then anon there burst forth creeping imagery of slighter trees, and with the larger wove in small intricacies. Approving all, she faded at self-will, and shut the chamber up, close, hushed, and still, complete and ready for the revels rude, when dreadful guests would come to spoil her solitude. The day appeared, and all the gossip rout. O senseless Lycius, madman, wherefore flout the silent blessing fate, warm cloistered hours, and show to common eyes these secret bowers? The herd approached. Each guest, with busy brain, arriving at the portal, gazed amain and entered marveling. For they knew the street, remembered it from childhood, all complete, without a gap. Yet ne'er before had seen that royal porch, that high-built fair demesne. So in they hurried all, mazed, curious, and keen.